Oh, who knows? I don't know. Don't know about that. I'm not really sure whether the season was too long, but today was definitely very disappointing.
You had made seemed like a strong impact early in the season with the way you wanted them to play, and that seemed to drop away markedly in the second half of the season. And what would you attribute that to if it wasn't fatigue or?
Yeah, I think we actually played some of our best football later on in the year. You know, look at Geelong, you look at Sydney, Western Bulldogs, even the game over in Adelaide after half-time. So some of our best football was after the midway point of the season. But there's no doubt physically our players are nowhere near as mature or developed as the best teams in the competition. And it wasn't just physically today. There's a lot of reasons, but physically the ability to spread from the contest, the ability Carlton beat us up in the contest really, and won the ball. And I think coming into the game, there was no secret that if we were going to win the game, we had to at least match Carlton there, and we just couldn't compete around the ball.
It sort of speaks to another problem, doesn't it? Long-standing, you've tried to bring in some support to Jobe and create a deeper midfield, but Judd didn't get you today, but Murphy did, and a few of the others. So the depth would be a challenge, or something you obviously got to address. You will look to address in the next year or two. Yeah, look, there's no doubt our midfield is not as good as Carlton's midfield, but this year we've been able to play Melksham to the midfield, a second-year player. We've had to play Zaharakis, a third-year player, through the midfield. Even Angus Monfries, I thought, played very well today, did quite well in the midfield. Dyson Heppel, a year of football, will get better in the midfield. Heath Hocking, I think, has developed into a better player now. I'm not saying that next year they'll be the level of Judd and Murphy and Gibbs in the Carlton midfield, but you don't come in and make drastic change straight away. You do have the players you have. I think we've got some very good young players to the midfield who will develop into a quality midfield. But it'd be certainly nice in the draft to pick up another young midfielder who we can develop again.
What benefits do you get out of playing in a final with the young group, do you think, James, even though you were outplayed today?
Oh, look, I think it's a number of things. The fact that a number of them now played their first final, know what to expect, know the intensity of the game, and also a bit about you never ever want to have that happen to you again. I think every footballer who's played a lot of finals football has been in situations where they've been disappointed with performance in a final, but if you can't get better out of that, then you have to get better out of that. You have to improve out of that. And this game can really hurt you, and it can really do some good things for you. And I think out of that hurt, you want to get better. So that's something we take out of the game, hopefully.
You said continuously through this year it was about improvement and development. And I know it's difficult to sort of think overall after that, but what would you say about this season? Oh,
I mean, you guys will have your opinion, but my opinion is we've improved dramatically. I mean, round 21 or whatever it was, we lost to Brisbane last year in Etihad Stadium in a home ground. This year we've been competitive in most games. I think we've had a chance in almost every game. Today we didn't. If you looked in isolation on this game, you can be shattered, you can be disappointed, but you look at a perspective over the whole year, and I think we've made drastic improvements, and we're only going to continue to get better. The one thing that we've talked to our players about, we'll put the best people around them to give them the best opportunity to be as good as they can be. Now they have to have to work as hard as they can to allow us to help them, and I think they've done that. Our players were disappointing today, but they've been terrific all year, and they've absorbed the information, they've learnt, they've trained hard, and I can only commend our players for the year they've had and the improvement they've made.
Would you call it a success then?
I don't know. You can never call a season success until you win the premiership. I think that's the ultimate success, and unfortunately, in football, there's only one winner. So, whether that's right or wrong, I think we've improved. But a success is when you're Collingwood, Geelong, Hawthorn, West Coast, and even Carlton. I suppose that's a success when you've got a chance to win a premiership. And clearly, this year we didn't, but we still did improve.
Hurdy, now that it's finished, you can tell us, at the start of the year in the heart of the hearts, would you have expected to make the finals?
I hoped, I suppose, but we were right on the edge. I think it's been right on the edge all year. I think the great thing about the AFL competition is it gives you what you deserve. And we probably, I think we fell into 8th spot by 6 points. We were clearly away from Carlton as the quality of a team. They beat us by 75 points 6 weeks ago, 60-odd points today. Yeah, maybe we hoped at the start of the year, but we've come a long way, but today is still very disappointing.
Last summer you had a massive pre-season, improving that boys' fitness. Do you think you'll aim to do something similar again, or can you take it to a next level, or do you think you need to pull back a bit in that regard? I mean, there was a lot of heavy running last summer, wasn't there?
My view is if we don't continue to improve in that area and physically get better, we won't be able to compete with the best sides. Clearly this year, our second halves in the last 8 weeks have been very poor. Collingwood smashed us in the second half, Carlton smashed us in the second half, West Coast smashed us in the second half in the space of sort of 5 or 6 weeks. And that's about the way you play, the way you absorb pressure, but a lot of that is about your physical capabilities, and unless we do that this summer, we won't improve. So the boys know that they're in for another big summer, like every club is. I think ours got highlighted because of our first year, but we'll continue to work very hard.
What about yourself? What have you learned from the year about the role, about yourself, about your group?
Yeah, I think you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself, how you handle pressure, how you handle a group. You get better, I think, as you go. But you realise how hard the job is, how hard it is in football. And as a player, you know that. I think I played for 17 years and won 2 premierships. So it takes a long time to get there. And as a coach, you have to be able to build good people around the club, good players, and it doesn't happen overnight. So we've made a small improvement this year, and unless we continue to improve, we'll just fluctuate and go down and up. So I think as a coach, I've learnt that you've got to continually improve the whole time.
The 2 biggest areas that you see of improvement, would they be the midfield and just the overall team defence? Are they sort of going to be the 2 major focuses for you, do you reckon?
Definitely our midfield group has to improve in terms of the ability to win the ball and defend as a team. We probably were flattered early in the year with our defensive points against, and we let it go second half of the year, so we've got to get better at that.
Would they be the 2 biggest areas?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. You look at a game and you go, there's a lot we have to improve on, and they're definitely 2 areas we need to improve in.
James, perhaps a little unfortunately, what are your plans for Dan Wallace?
We haven't really had time to sit down, but he's got a role at our club. It obviously can't be in access with the players and development of the players, but he'll have a role with our club, and we'll work that out. We didn't have time to really work that out through the process, and we'll get there, but it will be a significant role and looking at how it can get our club better. Thanks, guys.